Hey guys, this is Mr. Science 10. I thought I'd do a video about the NBA. I know I haven't uploaded lately and there's good reason for it. I'm just not gonna share it with you. That sounded mean and cold-hearted, but yeah, that's not my intentions. Anyway, let's get talking about the NBA. The Cavaliers beat the Warriors in Game 7 of the Finals, and I was pissed because I do not like LeBron. And I wanted him to lose. I call him the choke, because he chokes. You know, it's like that old joke where let's see, you asked LeBron for change for a quarter, but he only gave you 3. I know now it's kind of a cliche lame joke, but I do not like LeBron ever since the decision when he decided to leave Cleveland in the first place and then go to Miami. I mean, Jordan would never have done that. I'm sure Jordan played for the Wizards, but that was at the end of his career after he already won 6 rings with the Bulls and 6 MVPs and 6 Finals MVPs and stuff. So you know, Jordan at that point could have done anything he wanted to. LeBron had never won a championship. Had only gone to the finals once prior to the decision. And I was hoping for the Warriors to win because I actually kind of like the Warriors. Their style of basketball reminds me of the 7 seconds or less Suns. You can see that how they play is very similar to D'Antoni's offense back in the old days. Oh boy, that was 10, 11, 12 years ago. Man, I still remember like it was yesterday watching Nash, Marion, and Stoudemire just play together. Anyway, I wanted the Warriors to win. They didn't win, and I think part of it is Steph Curry. I couldn't believe how Steph Curry goes on to have one of the most amazing seasons ever. Just breaks his own record for threes, ties the NBA record for most threes in a game. I mean, wins back-to-back MVPs, the first unanimous MVP in NBA history. I mean, all NBA first team, all his accolades, and he just didn't show up in the finals, especially Game 7. I remember at the end that when Kyrie got that game-winning 3, Curry took it to the end of the court, and he just tries to force up a 3. Like, you can't do that. Even with your spectacular ability, you can't just force up a 3 in retaliation like that. You need to have a plan. Because anyone knows the final 2 minutes of a basketball game are the longest. Because when it goes down to the final 2 minutes, it's a chess game. It's whoever comes up with the best move. Okay? And Curry just flat out didn't show up in that fourth quarter. And that kind of disappointed me because, the Warriors go 73-9, breaks Jordan's Bulls record, which nobody ever thought would ever be broken. But they had a chance to either be one of the greatest potential dynasties of all time, kind of like the Bulls were, or to be the 07-08 Patriots, and that's what they ended up being, the 07-08 Patriots, because as you guys might recall, the Patriots went 16-0 in the regular season, and then that was the year the Super Bowl was here in Arizona, and they lost to the Giants. They lost that final game. So unfortunately, they took the Patriots route. But anyway, Cleveland won. That's in the past, and I can't keep moping around about LeChoke winning his championship. But anyway, let's get into some NBA news. Tomorrow is the draft, and we all know Ben Simmons is gonna be #1 pick. Especially, it's a foregone conclusion. Now, me being a Suns fan, there's all kinds of rumors and scenarios going at this point. I've read rumors that Eric Bledsoe is on a trade block. I've read rumors we're interested in Marquise Chris and Chris Dunn. See what was another rumor I read. I don't remember who was it. It was about I remember Jahlil Okafor. There's another rumor going around about trading the 4th pick and Alex Len for Jahlil Okafor, which is actually not a bad trade because Okafor was the #1 pick in the draft last year, and he shows a lot of potential. He's got like his what do you call it? His outside personality when he's not on the basketball court is questionable, but at the same time, this guy averaged 17 points, 7 rebounds a game. There's no denying he has talent, and he would be a great fit. The only problem with that though is Tyson Chandler, because Tyson's getting paid like $13 million a year, and he's still the starting center, even though he doesn't want to be here. Unfortunately, we don't have like an amnesty clause that we can just release him. So I don't know if we acquired Okafor, what would we do with Tyson Chandler? That's a good question. Would we try to move him? Would we release him? Just take the cap hit? It's a good question. I also read a rumor about Gordon Hayward coming here, but that literally makes no sense whatsoever, and I would not be happy with it. Around the NBA, so two big trades happened today. Of course, the biggest one is Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, who's been with the Bulls for at least 8 years, was traded to the New York Knicks for Robin Lopez, Jerrion Grant, and Jose Calderon. The Bulls also sent Justin Holiday and a second-round pick to the Knicks. Now, looking at this trade for the Bulls, what the hell were you thinking? Seriously, what the hell were you thinking? I mean, you traded Rose for nothing. Derrick Rose is in the last year of his contract, okay? Now, if you know the NBA, you know how trades work. You know that anyone who's on the final year of their contract, their trade value goes up because everyone wants an expiring contract because that will create cap space. And the more cap space you have, the more chances you have of signing a bigger free agent because you have more money to sign them. And so, his contract is very coveted. So it's understandable the Bulls won't want to trade him, but to trade him for garbage. Let's take a look at the players he was traded for. Robin Lopez. I know Robin Lopez. He was with the Suns. Okay, I call him Slideshow Bob. He's not that good of a player. He's an average player. He's like Omar Askik from the Pelicans, or what's another backup center? He's just a backup center in general. He's not a starting center. Jerrion Grant. He's a young asset player, so he's an okay pickup for the Bulls. Jose Calderon, who wants his contract? Dude is old. He's old, okay? What is he, 34, 35, maybe even older? Why would you want him on your team? I know the Bulls are rebuilding, but at the same time, it's like, why would you want that big contract? Why not just keep Rose for another year and just let him go on free agency or do a sign and trade? He has bird rights, Now for the Knicks, this is a great trade for the Knicks. Now, you know why? They have nothing to lose with this. The Knicks already suck. And so them trading a bunch of role players and in the end getting, a player expiring contract plus a second round pick that can be used in a later trade, it's a win-win for the Knicks. I mean, with Derrick Rose, it's a possibility that because he's in a contract year and because he's in a new setting, that he might, go ham and score like 20 points and get 10 assists a game. And, in that case, that's only going to benefit the Knicks. They'll win more games that way. And even if Rose doesn't play that well, it's still an expiring contract, and all you have to do is just let him go at the end of the year, and you got cap space. So Phil Jackson pulled off I don't want to say a miracle, but he pulled off a steal for getting Derrick Rose for the price that he did. Because the lineup now is like Rose, Melo, and Porzingis. Which, that's like a big three right there. That's actually pretty good. It'll be interesting who they surround themselves on. I heard about maybe they might be going after Joakim Noah. There's also rumors about getting Dwight Howard. And if you had either Noah or Howard, that's going to be a great team, actually. Even with Rose adding on, I think it's possible. If Rose plays good, the Knicks could win 40 games. And in the East, if you win 40 games, there's a good chance you're making the playoffs. So, I think it's a great trade for the Knicks, horrible trade for the Bulls. The other big trade was a three-way trade between Atlanta, Indiana, and Utah. Indiana trades George Hill to the Jazz. The Jazz trade their number 12 pick in the draft to Atlanta, and Teague is traded from Atlanta to Indiana. So let's break this down. So I think this is a good trade for all three teams. Indiana already had George Hill, and they get rid of him, they get Jeff Teague. That is an upgrade, okay? Teague is a better point guard than George Hill, and younger. So I say that's a good shipment for Indiana. For Utah, they trade Utah. It's an okay trade because they get George Hill and they get a more veteran point guard to help their team because they're very young. They got Derek Favors, Gordon Hayward, Dante Exum. Um, who else did they have? They have another player, Trey Burke, Alec Burke, Rudy Gobert. They have all these young players, and I think the Jazz could be a contender, or at least be in the playoffs within the next couple of years. They just need maybe one or two veterans to help them. And George Hill is someone that could at least maybe get them to an 8th seed. Because you guys know the Jazz almost made the playoffs this season. And so I think next year with George Hill, they could improve. With the Atlanta Hawks, here's the good thing. Jeff Teague was originally the 19th pick in the draft. He's traded, and they get a 12th pick in the draft back. Now, when you look at it, the 19th versus the 12th, that's actually pretty good. In the end, they get a higher draft pick than what they originally drafted Jeff Teague. And so this benefits them because Atlanta, they already have Dennis Schroeder, which he is showing signs that he needs to be the starting point guard for the team. And so, it's interesting to see what happens to the Hawks this season because they got him, they got Kyle Korver, Paul Millsap, which I don't know if he's gonna get traded or not, and then Al Horford, who's a unrestricted free agent. And I think Horford's gonna leave. I do. I don't think he's gonna stay with Atlanta. I think maybe he might go to like New York or Portland or a team that needs a center, maybe Milwaukee, maybe. And I don't really see Horford staying with the Hawks the rest of this offseason. Anyway, so that was so far the news from the NBA today. The NBA draft is tomorrow, and I expect many more trades. There's so many questions to be asked for this coming offseason. LeBron is staying first off, okay, because they won a championship, and there's no way LeBron would leave if they won a championship. So that's out of the way. But there's a lot of interesting questions. The biggest question going into this offseason is Kevin Durant. Is he going to stay in Oklahoma City or is he going to leave? But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video with me discussing about the NBA. I'm probably going to do much more of these videos for the next couple of months concerning the offseason and the big stories around it. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow or Friday recapping the NBA draft, alright?